You know Avatar Eng, you know Toph, you know Zuko, you know Katara, you know Sokka, you know Momo, you know Appa. But do you know the artists that were involved in the creation of that wonderful piece? Do you know the artists that actually put a lot of the effort to be able to create the masterpiece that we actually see on screen? That's what we're going to talk about today. I've been on social media looking at some of those artists that were involved in the creation of the masterpiece that we see. Starting off, I've actually made a short video on this with Claire Sim. Claire Sim is an incredible artist. She does visual development. She also did character designs and prop designs in the Avatar Aang movie. And I'm going to show you some of the works that she did. Starting off, I'm going to show you this prop design. I actually showed the prop design before, but I want to share it again. I'm going to read what she said. She said, I had the great joy of designing the denied weapons. Initially, there was an idea for the weapons to reflect the colors of the nation they were from, but later was changed to a uniform denied look, which I think turned out a lot more cooler. Also included is Avatar Zheng's fan as part of the art dump. All right, so she said, I was so amazed and even impressed to see how many sketch lines were taken and refined, then animated into what we saw on screen. While I was concepting them, I was so curious as to how they would look in the final, especially Calix Rope Dart. The animators went far and beyond my imagination and made the weapons so incredible, so powerful, and dynamic. I'm humbled and grateful to have been able to be part of such a team. I've included some screen caps of them in action and all their glory. My jaw dropped when I saw this sequence for the first time. These are really cool. This is for Calic. This is Calic's rope that's variations that she created. One thing I've noticed from a lot of all these artists is that they usually show. There was one where I saw about Sonam staff where they did about 15 variations for Sonam staff. So you see that a lot of these artists they spend a lot of time actually creating the whether that be costumes or whether that be the look of the character themselves or whether that be the accessories that these characters would have. So this is nice. This is fun. I like this. I like this. I like this. I like to keep stuff like this because whenever I want to work on my own character design or whenever I want to do a work for a client, I can always fall back and look at stuff like this and be inspired. This can actually, trigger something. It can trigger some inspiration, some original idea just by looking at it. This is cool. This is cool. Love the spare. And look at the variations that were done. Yuda's dual blade concepts. So they will send this over to the art director and the product designers. They would look at it and they'll give their input. This is cool. You never see all this detail. Like, can anyone remember what the blades look like? No, they just remember that it's a double-edged blade. But all these intricacies, all this detail actually go into it. And she did a layout as well. I think she did this a layout. Let me see. Uh, It said the first moment you get to see grown up Aang is when he wakes up from his flashback on a mountainside in Meadow. Slide one is an earlier concept of this area. Had lots of fun drawing this one. The next two stayed similar from idea drawing to final, including included screen caps from the film because the side by side is always fun to see. Sorry, I didn't look at the movie clips of this of the designs that she did for some accessories and weapons. Uh, all right, this is Avatar Zhang's fan, and then look at the variations of the fan, and then the look in the movie. You can see it's how very polished everything looks. It can be distracting sometimes and take you away from all the details that were involved in the creation of the work. I actually heard that this character in particular was inspired by one of the animators or one of the storyboarders. I think his look and his face and everything. And maybe if I do a couple of series, we'll be able to see something in that regards. Anyways, this is the first scene. This is the layouts for the first scene. Really nice work. You can see the values, foreground, midground, and background. This is where Avatar Aang woke up, and then Appa and Momo actually came to him. Oh yes, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. So this is the layouts. This is really cool. And this is the final after everything has been done. after all the effects has been added. Some more layouts. Wow, this is so cool, man. It's so cool. All right, we'll have to move on to another artist, but I'll have to come back to Claire Sim later on because I don't know. Will I do this where I'll just focus on one artist and all the things they've done, or I'll just focus on all the artists like that I've already saved? I think what I'll do is I'll just do this one and show some of the works that I've saved, and then eventually I'll look at other artists, look at them individually. All right, so over here we have some visual effects. This is by JPEG Tobin. This is what we call big boy in the industry. In all seriousness, I still remember watching the season 1 finale of Avatar with my face pressed to my parents' box TV and feeling my brain wrinkle for the first time. The sheer awe and hype absolutely blew my tiny little brain apart and I was hooked. So fast forward a few years, getting to work on the Ocean Spirits redesign was something I genuinely felt honored to be a part of. I hope you all enjoyed this review. Yeah, this is a wonderful work. Look how raw it looks here. It still looks cool even like this. I wish a Nigerian studio could actually produce something of this quality. There are studios that actually do so, but yeah, not as often as you would like of this quality. Fundings are lacking. Fundings are lacking. Anyways, I could look at that for a very long time. I'm sure Tobin has more works that Tobin shared, but I'm just going to leave it at this. I think what I'll do later on is that I'll just come back and look at each of the artists and what they've done, and individually, and look at their works. Over here is Remrev. Remrev worked on layouts. He's also a product designer and art director, but he worked on a lot of layouts and storyboard for this movie. All right, this is where he was when Avatar was walking up the temple. Wow, look at that gorgeous detail, man. Look at that. Whew, that is delicious. That is delicious. Oh my god, it's so cool, man. Ah, it's so cool. Look at this building. I know a lot of the times they do collaborate with 3D artists. So there's a bit of back and forth, and it's kind of easier to get references. But this is the like original phase of production where of course they'll give their speech. The production designer and all the art directors will give their speech and show example illustrations of what they would want the work to look like. But still it's still a difficult work, I can't lie. All right, over here, this is Daniel Mendoza. Daniel Mendoza is an animator. Here's my set of shots from the Mount Bayou sequence. This is the earliest sequence I started working on for the film, and it played an important role in shaping the project's animation style. Fuck, that's so cool. In comic book art, when you're doing stuff like this, right, you do all the storyboards and things like that, and this work over here will be the final inks, right? But over here in animation, once after you apply the inks, that's just the starting phase of the entire movie sequence. You actually have to then apply colors, you have to apply cleanups, you have to do tie downs, you have to do just a lot of work, the final composition, the color keys, everything. Some more animation. Oh, these are nice. So imagine they'll work on a single animation and then they'll just join everything together, because it's not just one animator, it's multiple animators. They're working on a particular shot, working on based on the script that the writers and the producers have already put in place. I actually saw this scene. Another artist worked on the effects. Like you would see a lot of smoke around Appa, and then you see a lot of you see all those smokes around Appa that are due to the fall of the rock, and how what's his name, Sokka, is just doing Fast and Furious. I saw the 2D versions, I think. Okay, I think we'll just look at one more. I don't want these videos to be too long. This is Orenji. He has a YouTube channel, in fact, you can check it out. He has really good tips and tutorial videos on his YouTube. So Orange did a lot. He did layouts, he did background, all the viz dev as well. He did he do character design? He did a lot of paintings basically. And this one is just of the grotto. Uh, he did some paintings of the grotto, and this is some clips of it being used in the movie proper. Let me just show you another painting that Orange did. Let me show you. I managed to paint almost every cave interior in this part of the sequence. It ended up looking a beautiful icy blue with all the breath and dust effects. Love the compositing work. So over here we see one of two paintings I did from this angle. I don't have the other one, but you can see it in the clip. My goodness. Wow. Let's look at it in the actual clip. Look, this is it. This is the painting of the cave. That is crazy. That is crazy. This is very intimidating to paint actually. Like it's the way the light is bouncing, and because of how light is coming from the outside, and then the light has to constantly get darker the further the light travels into the cave, and just capturing that alone. Real skill, real skill. All right, so this is what he painted. Look how long it is. Right. Okay, these are just I just wanted to look at that one. I'll look at the rest. Oh my goodness, there's just not enough time. I don't want to have to spend I don't want to make these videos extremely long. Oh my god, this is really good. This is Etienne. Yo, fuck. Look at this mountain. Okay, this is the falling sequence. This is when the mountains were falling apart. Bro, look how tall the mountain is. Sheesh. Bro. Yeah, this one I would enjoy painting this one rather than that ice. I would enjoy painting this mountain. The mountain looks juicy to paint in comparison to the ice. Damn. Yeah, this one is a lot more fun. Yeah, this is the rocks falling. It said another background painting of Mount Bayou collapsing made during the start of the production of Avatar Aang movie in 2023. So this work was done in 2023. The entire collapsing sequence is visually so impressive. I was speechless when I first saw it. And then he talked about um, the production designer, the art directors that were in charge, like the guys above him. Anyways, wonderful work, wonderful work. I'm going to have to come back. I have a lot of paintings and a lot of like works, even character designs that I want to talk about. Look at that. Sonam's character design and her staff and her air, what do they call it? Her air glider. That's really cool. Look at the variations. Whew. Yeah, yeah, this is so cool. I'm going to take my time to look at them again. I don't want the video to stay too long. You can go and check them out for yourself. The purpose of these videos is to basically appreciate the artists that are involved in creating works like this. I'll try and not just focus on Avatar, but there are just a lot of artists involved. So this series might continue, or I might feel lazy or feel discouraged by the views and just stop. I don't know. Uh, but anyways, so far I'm just going to keep going and see what I can create. Yeah, that's it for today. Have a nice day. Peace out.